Hey everybody, welcome to another summer reading craft day. This week we are going to make Suncatcher strings with beads. And look, we've got little prisms and little bells. And these are very long, that's why you can't see the whole thing. This is going to be on display at the library. You can come see it in person. You're going to get a lot of beads. You're going to get these little baby Tibetan bells. Oh, come little baby Tibetan bells, and two prisms. These guys are going to come packaged in little white foamy protection. And you're also going to need a stick, which you can go out in your yard and find a nice stick somewhere. Go for a walk, pick one up. This might be a little bit long. You're probably going to want probably 6 to 8 inches worth of stick, but that's okay. This one's a little bit long, but it's still going to look really pretty when it's done. Now I went ahead and got started a little bit. You are also going to have this hemp cordage in your package. Save everything that's extra because we're going to use it again later this summer, okay? So hang on to your cordage. I cut probably 2.5 feet of cord to get started. This is good stiff cord, so you're probably not going to need a needle, all right? And you're going to start with either a bell or a prism at the bottom. It's just easier that way. I'm going to go ahead and thread through there. I'm going to leave myself a little tail, okay? And just do a half knot. So just one crossover and tighten, okay? And I am not going to trim this excess off. What I'm going to do is tuck it inside all of the beads as we work, okay? I divided my beads up by type, not by color. And then I divided it by 4 strands because we have enough to do 4. Unless you want to do shorter ones, you could get 6 or 8, probably easier if they were much shorter. And then you just start threading. And because we're leaving the tail down here, you want to go ahead and put that through the hole in the bead as well. Pull them both through. Okay. And of course, just stream beads. Yes, all of these beads you should be able to fit 2 thicknesses of cord through. It might take a little finagling, but you're going to get it. I like to think this makes it a little bit more secure. It's less likely to get pulled out over time. And some of these beads, because we've got some pony beads in here, some of them are much easier to thread through. We have these really pretty sparkly beads. We have these big heavy glass beads. I'm going to use a purple one this time. And I've just been trying to alternate colors and styles because I don't want to have, everything the same. You can organize your beads as much or as little as you want. I went ahead and divided everything up into 4 different strands because then I knew that they would all be roughly the same length when they're finished. Look at that, we've got a little leopard print bead. That's cute. Yeah, we'll do that one. We have little round beads, little pony beads. There should be some faceted beads in your packages as well. These long skinny guys, did you know these are called spaghetti beads? I think I used to know that, and then I forgot for a really long time, and then I started to do this. I wanted beads that were long so you'd get more bang for your buck. Okay, so all I'm doing is I push that down, and then I can feed the tail back through. If it starts to get frayed, and they do, yeah, I've got just a little bit here. This would be a perfect time for a really long bead. And I will take this one. No, I changed my mind. I want this bright green one. So you should have a variety of colors and shapes as well. So you can mix and match. There we go. And see, now there's no tail. We don't have to worry about it pulling out at the end. Okay. Yes, I'm gonna have some greens together. And this is what happens. You know, you can, like I said, you can organize your beads as much or as little as you want. I wanted them to be as random as possible. Okay, these little iridescent balls. When I was in the 80s, everybody who grew up in the 80s knows exactly what these beads smell like. Because anytime you did any sort of craft that involved plastic beads, it was this really pungent plastic process smell. So they're not as strong as they were back in the 80s, which is actually kind of a relief because that was always very extreme. I like these little Tibetan bells. I think they sound nice and they make people happy. Yeah, you should have a good variety of beads. You could make patterns if you wanted. That involved a lot more planning than I was willing to put forth. Really dividing them up into groups of into fours so that I would know exactly how many went in each strand. That was about the level I was ready to go to. Okay. Yeah, but these little iridescent beads, I'll tell you, I opened that package and I was swept back into the 80s. Once you get past the tail, it goes really, really fast. Oops, come back here. Don't make an escape. I will recommend using a plate or a large dish so that your beads don't roll all over because I have picked so many beads up off the floor today. I will say some of these spaghetti beads don't have a hole all the way through, so do be aware of that, okay? There should be enough extras, but yeah, the spaghetti beads are not always the best. Oops. See, I like all the different shapes. Here we go. I'm gonna do, yep, that one. 20 bead. Okay. So once we finish up with the lacing part, which is a lot of fun, and you can do this. You can get your own beads as well. They have some at the dollar store. They've got a Michaels. They've got, yeah, you've got a lot of beads out in the world. And these little glass ones, they were so cute. They came in this neat little box. Okay. So once, oops, an escapee. You're not going to escape me, sir. All right. Once you get all four of your strands laced, okay, you can arrange this time. Oh, okay. Got another escapee. I'm going to put it on a different thread just for giggles. Oop. See, some these start to get worn too, but just for the amount of bead lacing we're doing, you can always trim off the end a little bit. But this cord is really nice and substantial. Okay, take your stick, do your first half of your knot, and this is when I'm going to pull it tight. I'm going to get the beads as close to my stick as possible because I don't want a lot of weed. Okay. Once that's good and tight, then you do the other half of your knot. And then if you like, you can put a little dab of glue on the string to hold it together. So once we trim this down, you won't have to worry about it pulling out. See, and it doesn't matter. You always end up with about, quarter inch or so of thread. Then trim this guy off. Oh, I'm probably going to come back later. Just a little drop of school glue, uh, Elmer's glue, whatever. Now I've decided on this one, I'm going to put the prisms on the outside and the bells on the inside. The other one that I made, I had prism bell. This is definitely a do whatever makes you happiest. I'm going to pull this thread tight. Loop it back around. Come on, guys. Sometimes the knots don't want to knot. You know how it is. Real tight, using my fingernails there. I'll leave myself just a little bit of tail so that I don't have to worry about that pulling out either. So I've got these. I'm going to space these out a little bit more. Since my stick is a little bit longer, I want them to be spaced a little further apart. Okay. See, sometimes I get distracted and I don't do what I said I was going to do. So we're going to pull those guys good and tight. I know it looks like that bead's going to be in the knot, but it's not. It's not knot. There. Okay. Make sure that's snug. And I can adjust a little bit. I don't need to adjust that much. Okay. Last string. Okay, it does need to come this way a little bit. Eh. This craft, it doesn't take very long, but it is very satisfying because at the end you have this beautiful sun catcher that you can hang your window, your front door, anywhere. And the bells are, let's see, I think the legend is that tinkly bells keep evil spirits away. I don't know. But I do know that tinkly bells make most people pretty happy. So we're going to go with that. Okay, and we have so many colorful things. Yet another good example of something rainbowy that you can hang up to help celebrate Pride. Okay. When you're done, take one more length of cord. I'm going to take about that much. Tie on this end. And again, if you want to come back with some glue, that's all right. So, oops. Tie on this end. I know I didn't give myself a lot of string, did I? That's okay. It doesn't need to be super long. It just has to create a loop on which we can hang our wonderful sketcher. Okay, we'll see you guys next week with another summer reading craft. Enjoy your rainbows. We'll see you soon.